Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
I'm Jesse, and you are our wonderful, amazing Patreon patrons. Welcome to the show this week. We've got some fun stuff to talk about. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, so one of our viewers, can't mention his name, works for Lexus and let us know about this little sheet that they're sending out. This little pamphlet they're sending to their salespeople to let them know all about Tesla and how you should respond to questions about it and the things you need to know. I just thought it was interesting. There's a lot of information in here. I'm not saying any of it's untruthful, but it's very skewed. Things like, did you know that Teslas are built in tents? You know, and it's like, okay. Things like, they're not in the JD Power ratings.
Well, actually, no, they say, like, where are Tesla's JD Power ratings? Nowhere. It's like, yeah, they don't participate,
Right.
so they wouldn't have any.
Well,
but again, when you're just trying to sell a Lexus, you don't care about that kind of stuff. Like, I get that. It's just hilarious because, I mean, Teslas are obviously, and we've seen from the data, cutting into Lexus sales.
Oh, yeah.
So they must just be like, crap. So when they're in the dealership and people are like, I don't know, but the Tesla has this. They're like, well, did you know that they're built in tents? They're built in tents. Did you know?
No, it's true.
It makes me want to go to a Lexus dealership and just be like, I'm really thinking about getting a Tesla. It would give it away since I would have pulled up in a Tesla. I'd be like, oh, great. Another one.
Let's whip out the sheet. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the sheet talks about, you know, that their fit and finish of their cars is so much better. They don't talk about any of the actual important things about electrification, clean, you know, nothing like that. It's just like, oh, you want to be in a Tesla? It's not built very well.
It's not a luxury car.
All right, check out this video. Now, there are some swears in it.
Maybe not great for kids, but sometimes they're going to need to know how the world works. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's some strong Australian language in here.
Yeah, well, check it out.
Check it out.
Hello, I'm from the Australian government. You know, the shit party.
And I'm from the Shit Light Party, your soon-to-be new Australian government.
Whatever, you cow.
Shut up, you mole.
And together we form
the two-party system.
Are you wondering whether to vote shit or shit light this election?
Do you think you need to vote for the lesser of two shits because voting for anyone else would help the shitter party to win?
Good. That means you have no clue how our voting system works.
Which is grouse for the coal, gas and mining lobbies that own both of us, because thanks to this, whatever the outcome of the election, they win.
The last thing we want you to understand is that, unlike these poor bastards, in Australia it's impossible to waste your vote.
Well, unless you draw a dick on your ballot.
That's because we have preferential voting.
Preferential voting allows you to vote for the candidate you really want.
And if your first choice doesn't win, your second choice is counted, and so on.
For example, let's say you really want to see serious action on the climate emergency so your kids won't inherit a waterless, fucked up, dead-ass planet. You could give your first preference to a not-shit candidate.
One that isn't owned by these bastards, and who'll fight to ensure your kids have a future, rather than coal.
You can then put shit light after them.
And to ensure we don't get your vote, you could put us last. After all, that's where we always put you.
Sure, your first choice might not receive the majority required to win a seat, but that's okay. Since you put shit light after them, your vote will flow to us anyway, so it's no big loss.
Even if they don't win, they get these benefits thanks to your first preference vote.
But if enough of you do this, some of those not shit candidates will win some seats.
They would then become an MP and sit on the crossbench, allowing them to vote on proposals for new coal mines, oil drilling in the Bight, fracking the NT, and other planet-killing shit fuckery.
We try to scare you away from not shit candidates by telling you bullshit like, you're wasting your vote, and
you're helping the shit party win,
and they're not a party of government.
But that's just to distract you from the truth that the more not shit MPs you vote to the crossbench, the more we have to listen to you rather than our fossil fuel donors.
Thank fuck, most of you have no idea about this and will waste your vote in the only way possible in Australia.
By putting one of us first, instead of making your vote truly count with preferential voting.
Two-party system.
Making your government shit either way. Authorised by the department for not teaching you this stuff in school.
I loved it because it was pretty to the point. I mean, it told you exactly how things work. Basically, I would love it if we learned about this stuff in school. They even hinted at that at the end of it, which like the very, very end, I was talking about how you won't learn about this in school.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, another thing I was learning about early on in American history when people would go to vote, it was like a holiday. Like everyone, it was like a big deal. You'd go there, you'd drink, you'd kind of party.
We should, I mean, if you want to make it an American, like if you want Americans to vote,
Yeah.
barbecue,
Yep.
I mean, it's Memorial Day today. So, yeah.
Football.
Get your barbecue.
Play some football.
I mean,
Go vote.
yeah, there should be. I mean, like, why? Why not? Like,
Yeah.
It's
No, it's
just-
always on a Tuesday, and like no one can.
it's always on a Tuesday, and like, I don't know. It should just be, you get the day off.
Yeah.
Go vote. Take your time. Drink. Have a barbecue.
drink. I know. Maybe take
this
out the
country
drinking
was
part.
founded upon. I mean, what do you want? Like, Sam Adams helped found the country.
That's true.
And now he's a beer.
Well, that's not his choosing.
I'm just saying.
So
it's very
someone took his
patriotic.
name. No, but it's just interesting. And one of the reasons why they wanted to do it that way is because you would hold your ballot. Your ballots were different colors. They were pink and blue and stuff. And you'd hold them so that the party bosses could see that, like, oh, Jesse, I paid you $1 to vote. And it's a good thing you brought your ballot. You know, it's like they want to make
So
sure
that's
that
why there was the drinking.
Well, yeah, come on down, have a drink. I'll give you a ballot.
I'll give you a pint and a ballot. All right.
Good lad. That's a good lad. All right, this is really fun. This is the moose test. Remind me again what the moose test is?
So you're driving down a dark and lonely road, and suddenly there's a moose, and you have to get out of the way. And so this tests that. They
Okay.
don't use any moose, which is disappointing.
Aw. Even a fake moose would be cool.
It would be cool, but it would be very dangerous.
True.
Moose, just shapes in general, are very dangerous kind of shapes.
Well,
but
how did it
anyway,
do?
Model 3 performed exemplary. So this is from a YouTube channel. I don't know if they're like just a YouTube channel or if they're another thing. It's all in Spanish, but they've done moose tests on almost every vehicle. Which
How do I compare, though? Because like I'm watching this now, and it looks like it did great. But like, what does it look like when a car doesn't do well?
well, it looks like the the Jeep Grand Cherokee. If you ever want a good laugh, let's just play it. Let's
Okay.
just play it.
Oh,
Yeah. So I mean, it's
wait a
good-
minute. Why are they playing it again and again?
No. Those are different times that they tested the moose test.
No, because the tire keeps popping. See
Yes.
that?
Yeah. They popped 7 tires.
Wait, that's a different shot each time?
Yes. They only filmed it 6 times. They popped
Wait, so
7
why
tires
is the
on
tire
3
pop?
different cars
Why is the tire pop?
because they didn't design it for moose tests.
Oh, because the amount of like physical pressure
Yeah,
on the.
I mean, obviously this is an SUV, and the Model 3 performs better than an SUV. Go figure. But I mean,
But
just
plenty
to,
of SUVs do well in this test.
It's true. It's true.
Like the Volvo like XC60 and stuff.
Right. I mean, a lot of better engineered cars. Sorry, Jeep, but perform much better. The Model 3 performs great, and it's amazing because it is a pretty heavy car.
Yeah.
For its size.
Yeah, about 4,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So check this out, Jesse. An electric airplane. This is the Blackbird electric airplane. So these planes are 75% less expensive and 5 to 10 times faster than driving a car.
75% less expensive than a car.
Yeah, check this out. So think about a place you love that's 5 hours away by car.
Oh.
Like Montreal, maybe. That would cost you about $100 in gas in a nice car to drive there. You'd have to, 5 hours of driving. Well, next year, you'll be able to get there in 45 minutes and $25 in electricity with the Blackbird. So if you owned a Blackbird plane, you could fly there in 45 minutes for only $25 of electricity.
Okay. But it doesn't. The plane itself doesn't cost 75% less.
No. I mean, once you once you own one of them. But the idea is that you would rent this. So, like in certain markets, like California right now, and in New York, and even in Massachusetts, you can rent. You can like be flown somewhere in one of these a lot cheaper than you think because they're so much cheaper to fly. So the 4-seater of this plane sells for $349,000. The 2-seater trainer version sells for $249,000. It's a great trainer plane because you can. Not have to gas it up all the time.
Right. And the maintenance. I mean,
I know.
So much of small plane flying is
Just engine maintenance, exactly. So what are we looking at here? This looks like a sci-fi movie or something. What? Like Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Like what?
No, this is Starlink.
As a new movie?
No.
Starlink?
This is SpaceX's Starlink. So, they just launched
satellite?
their 60 satellite rocket the other night.
Wait, those are the satellites?
Those are the satellites. So an amateur astronomer actually picked these up on his telescope and popped them on the internet. Now you're watching them.
Wait, so that's as they were released? So
Yeah,
that's
so
why
it's
they're
like shortly after they were released.
Oh, and so they're
all
going to
kinda-
spread out?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Isn't that
Are they all
crazy?
going to be in that same orbit but just spread out? Like this is like one string that's going around the Earth, like a string of lights?
I don't know.
That's
Couldn't tell
that
you,
is
but I
Cool.
maybe find out. I don't know.
I love the
Someone in the
astronomers.
comment section probably already knows.
If you remember Lynette Lopez, she works for Business Insider, and they are a news organization. I'll say that loosely.
Yeah.
She's definitely at Tesla short, and after you watch this, you will know what I mean.
Tesla has planned on making a huge entrance into the Chinese market by building a factory there that makes Model 3s the standard version, which is to say the least complex version of the Model 3. Well, Tesla is known for setting goals that are completely beyond anything that the auto industry would possibly ever do. Unfortunately, Tesla is also known for not meeting those goals. Elon Musk said that there is going to be Model 3s manufactured from the China plant by the end of 2019. So far, the China plant is basically an open field with some digging going on. It's harder and harder to believe that there will be Model 3s coming out of the Tesla China Gigafactory by the end of the year. China is not only the manufacturing hub of the world right now, but also the Chinese government has been giving generous subsidies to people who make and purchase electric vehicles. In Beijing, it can cost like $10,000 to get a license. If you buy an electric vehicle, that has been waived for you. But the problem is that the government is going to start replacing those deals with a cap and trade program for manufacturers. So instead of the customers getting the deal for buying an electric vehicle, the manufacturers are going to get a deal for making electric vehicles. So we have yet to see how that's going to change consumer behavior. Tesla is going to have to figure out how to resource all of the parts for the cars that it already has sourced in the United States. So they're going to have to change their supply chains, not just to keep them cheap or expediency, but because the Chinese government is not going to allow Tesla to use the same parts in the Chinese cars that it uses in the cars for the United States and Europe. There's a lot of competition at different price points. Because the government was giving so many subsidies, electric car companies popped up all around the country, and Chinese car manufacturers decided to make electric cars too. Tesla is a luxury car and out of reach for a lot of Chinese people. So Tesla is going to really have to work on getting the cost down if it wants to sell more than just luxury models. Another thing about the Chinese market is that SUVs are really huge there. At this point, Tesla only has the Model X, which is about $170,000 in China. That car will be competing with cheaper electric vehicle SUVs, including one from NIO, which just came out recently, which is a little more high-end Chinese electric car maker. Because of the kind of erratic price cuts and stories about fiery accidents and Elon Musk's legal troubles and behavior, all of that is having an effect on Tesla's brand value. In fact, there's a recent report out from Axios that shows that Tesla's brand has declined significantly here in the United States. Over in China, recently there have been protests because people who recently bought Teslas found out that the price for the Model 3 was cut significantly. So people who just bought their Teslas for, say, $60,000, $65,000 are angry that supposedly now there's a much, much cheaper model that they could have ordered and basically had the same car. According to my sources, if Tesla wants to win at China, they need to get cars out fast. But the problem is there's going to be just intense competition and a lot of supply. If you can get a lot of cars on the road, according to my source, we're talking 150,000 to maybe 300,000 cars. If Tesla can do that, it can probably have a big impact and keep a foothold in China. Until then, you know, it may have to sell cars at a loss. For other car companies in China, that's going to be difficult because they have deals with manufacturers that require them to make a certain amount of cars. Tesla doesn't have that. It has an advantage. But what Tesla doesn't have right now is a factory. So that's a problem.
Okay, so please comment below in the Patreon notes there how many of you are just on the floor laughing uncontrollably because I was. Here's the part that really got me. A little racism there when she's like, Chinese people can't afford these expensive cars. All right, so we looked it up. There's 3.5 million millionaires in China.
Yeah.
Now,
there are many countries on Earth, right? The United States has the most number of millionaires at 17.3 million millionaires. China is ranked number 2, the second. It's in second place behind the United States.
right. Basically, just to give you some perspective, if
Yeah.
all the millionaires in China one day were like, let's buy a Tesla.
Right.
Tesla would have to be building cars for like the next, I don't know, 10 years
Yeah.
to keep up with the demand.
Seriously.
I mean, that would just be the millionaires buying
So
the cars.
yeah.
The other part that made me laugh, probably even harder, is this. This was recorded in March of this year, where she's talking.
No, May.
No,
Was it March?
March. This was recorded in March of this year, after Tesla had bought the land and had started building their Shanghai Gigafactory.
Right.
And I understand when you look at some of the early shots, you saw a muddy field, but I want you to see this video right now. So what you're seeing right now is footage from 1 week ago.
Right. That's the Gigafactory. It's looking pretty built.
I mean, we're still driving by it here.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just, that's all. It's not like we edited the film and you're like looping it. We still haven't gotten past the Gigafactory. That's how big it is.
Right.
And it only started being built in January.
Right.
Okay. And now we're flying over it. Look how humongous this place is.
And look how almost built it is. Like, it's almost completely built.
No, it's not, Jesse. Lynette is a reporter. She knows what she's talking about. She said it's only a muddy
There's
field.
just some digging going on.
Yeah, it's just a muddy field. Isn't that hilarious? Like, can you see why, if you didn't follow what's actually going on, if you didn't have a news source, kind of like us,
this is wild, right? Because we're getting this from like just some guy in Shanghai with a drone.
Right.
It's not like a particularly nice drone. It's just
Right.
a guy with a drone flying over the factory.
Right.
Where are
the major news networks? Where are they?
Business Insider, they have funds. They could be like, Lynette Lopez, we're going to send you to Shanghai to check up on the Gigafactory.
With a drone.
She could actually be standing in front of it instead of just showing us a picture from like months ago.
And I love how she's like, my source tells me. Well,
My source tells me they need to be producing such and such amount of cars.
right.
Why?
Who's your source?
About what?
First of all, that's not the kind of source you have to hide. Just tell us who that is. Like, you're some analyst or something. Like,
Right.
So your source, okay? Is it your dad?
No, they
your
don't-
brother? Like what? Who?
They don't want to be associated with her.
No, that's probably true.
Like, I'll tell you, but just don't. I don't want you to
use my
muddy
name.
my name. Yeah.
It's such a joke. Okay, why?
And this is what like most of the FUD is. It's just people who are just like, I was told to say things that are not good about Tesla. The first thing is that they don't have a gigafactory in China built.
Right.
I don't know. Like it was so sophomoric.
Yeah, I know.
This whole thing. She's like laughing. She's like,
Well, it really shows you how this wouldn't have held up back in my day when people got the news, because we I think, check me if I'm wrong here, but
no
those of you
internet.
who are my age, when you watch the news, we could sense whether it was a biased or an unbiased story. Nowadays, with the internet, in social media, you like getting stories that are just telling you the way
Right.
you want
Just-
it. And
just
I
for
hope
you.
we're not doing that for you. I hope we're showing you actual footage of the Gigafactory, so it's not
Right.
like we can we're not like, oh, it's great, but we're not going to show you.
right.
Like,
Obviously,
this is it.
We want to avert the climate crisis, but at the same time, we don't want to just paint you this rosy picture, which
Right.
is why like half the show is us just telling you why the world's going to end and
Right.
why there's not much we can really do about it. And like, gee, I sure hope that we can all start buying electric cars or maybe stop
what?
driving
We can do a lot about it. If
Yeah.
it weren't for Elon Musk, we would be in such a worse position, and that's one man. So, I mean, if more of us could somehow fight the FUD and do the thing, like, we could do more. It's just there's such a fight against us. And people like Lynette Lopez, why are you on their side, Lynette? Like, come on over to our side. Report the real news.
Right.
Wouldn't it be more fun? Lynette, if you're watching.
Right.
Call us up. I'd love to get you on the show, and I'd love to show you the footage now and have you tell me what you're seeing. Like, I'd love to see you eat your words.
Right. We don't get to see enough of that on the internet.
That would exactly.
I don't know if we ever got to see that. I think maybe when like you just lived in a town and it was just a person in your town and you're like, you're gonna eat your words, and then like you made them eat their words because like you got a posse together or something.
Right.
Like maybe that's when you actually had that, swords and stuff. But like nowadays it's like, you were wrong, and they're like, I don't have. This is the internet. I'm over here. I don't know. It's annoying.
All right, let's do the Model 3 tip of the week, shall we? Hey, I'm Zach.
I'm Jesse.
You're watching the Model 3 tip of the week. What do we got this week, Jess?
We got the Tesla Cam / Sentry Reviewer app.
All right. Well, I'm going to grab my footage here, and we'll go take it inside and go review it.
Wait. Why do we need to take it inside?
To plug this into the computer.
Oh, you haven't heard?
What?
There's a better way to do it.
There is?
Yeah, you just need 3 things. You got your phone. Okay, you got your footage. Now you just need to download this app. Tesla Cam Sentry Reviewer.
Okay, but how
Oh
do
yeah,
I...
you're gonna need one more thing. You're gonna need this.
Oh, this came with my phone, right?
Yeah, it's a
USB-C to USB-A female adapter port.
Yep. You can get them, online, Amazon.
And
you
then
plug your USB into
Tesla
your phone.
Cam. Okay, select the Tesla Cam folder. So it would be the SanDisk USB drive, I'm guessing. And then it would be Tesla Cam. Select. That's it. And then view events. Oh, this is cool. So all my recent video clips, stuff that's happened recently, and then all of this are from my Sentry mode, or if I told it to, save something. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see both dash cam and Sentry mode.
Right.
And check this out. Go ahead to your Sentry mode there.
Okay.
It's all 3 cameras at
Oh,
once.
wow. And I can play it.
Yeah, and you can scrub through it.
That's awesome.
Because, there's like endless footage sometimes.
Right. Man, I hate oh, look. I hate it how it records it into 1-minute videos.
Right.
But here it loops on to the next one. So, after you see this guy drive past or whatever, then you get to the end of that video. You see the guy walking, and then it skips over to the next one.
Now, the thing I have noticed, though, is sometimes the alignment of the 3 videos isn't perfect.
Mm.
And also, we've noticed that sometimes the footage from certain cameras is corrupted. But
So I can watch it at double speed if I wanted to review quicker.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, who's this?
Wait, so you were parked the other day? Like,
Yeah, and I just turned on Sentry mode on a whim. I wasn't expecting to get broken into or anything. It looks like it got a little oh. Well,
yeah, see, that's what I mean.
Okay.
The alignment's not always perfect.
No, that's not the app. I would bet that's the stick.
Probably. Or the way they date the files.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait, whoa, what
wait a
just happened
minute.
there?
Wait a minute. Let me change the speed here. He gets out of his car. Oh,
Did he just ding you?
did he ding me?
You could have actually gotten back in the car after parking,
Right.
reviewed your footage, and he might still have been parked next to you.
Right. Wait a minute.
Wait, that's him.
That's him. That's the...
Wait, you got his license plate.
Oh, hello. Gotcha. That's terrifying. I turned that on a whim.
Yeah.
Like, just, I'll just turn it on. I wasn't like, oh, my car's going to get broken into or dinged by some jackweeb. It's hard to tell what's scratches and what's pollen. I don't think it was hard enough to do anything. So that's good. But quite easily could have been a ding or a dent. And I really like this car. I don't want it to just be dented forever. And I have his license plate. I could quite easily call him up and insurance and everything like that if I really wanted to. Yeah, I definitely want to turn on Sentry mode a lot more. So, on top of Sentry mode, you can also just review all of the driving footage. So just your normal commute to work. If you were like, wow, that truck really was over the line, you can go back and review it and be like, wow, he really was. And that could have, that truck over the line could have easily been an accident. It could have easily been that I saw an accident happen. Now I actually have footage which I can, show to people. And if for whatever reason I was like, okay, this stretch, I've watched all of it, I've decided it's not interesting, you can just delete it. And it's nice because you can't do it on accident. You actually have to slide to confirm deletion. And I mean, because this can get kind of full. I mean, it does re-record over itself. But, if you were actually trying to save space on a smaller, thumb drive, this could be quite useful. Now, you might notice that some of this is a little glitchy. Like this has not updated at all in the past few minutes. And sometimes there's a bunch of artifacts all over the screen. So, I mean, it's not perfect. And sometimes, your file is missing or corrupt. And again, that's not the app's fault. That's just the way that Tesla works. It doesn't record it onto your stick or it corrupts it, which means now I'm blind in that camera. But with further software updates, hopefully, they will fix some of these problems and it'll get better and better, which means that we're going to have, uncorrupted footage. And this app works so well. Let's say you came back from dinner and you're like, oh my gosh, is that dent? Is that scratch? Has that been there before? You can pull out your phone and be like, hey, this jerk smashed his door into my car. And then, you can find the license plate if that car isn't still next to you at dinner. But I mean, then you can wait for the person and be like, hey, this is you. And if they're like, no, it's not, you can be like, yes, it is. It is you. I've got you. Give me your, insurance information. Let's make this a thing. Let's fix this. Instead of just being like, oh man, my car got scratched. So we were just shooting the episode on Sentry Mode and we got an update, which means that everything's different and changed. And we're going to show you those changes now. In this update, I got driver visualization, whatever. I got Sentry Mode improvements. It's now easier to enable or disable Sentry Mode by tapping the Sentry Mode icon at the top of your touchscreen when the car is in park. You can also default Sentry Mode to always being enabled when your vehicle is parked by going to Controls, Safety Security, Sentry Mode, On. If selected On, you can exclude home, work, and or your favorite places by selecting the checkboxes. If a location is selected, Sentry Mode will be disabled when your car is parked near those locations. This is exactly what Sentry Mode was missing, because you'd have to turn on Sentry Mode every time you got in your car, and now you don't have to. You can just have it turned on all the time. This is version 9, 2019.16.2. All right, so I head over to Safety and Security, scroll down to Sentry Mode, and I will turn it on. And so now I can exclude my house, I could exclude work, or I could exclude my favorite locations. So this is awesome. This means now that I can have Sentry Mode on all the time, every time I leave the vehicle, which is what I want.
I was pretty stoked about this
I'm
app.
still stoked about it. Every time I get back in the car and I get that little notification on the screen, it's like 3 Sentry events. I'm just like, ooh, let me see. Who's been snooping on my car? I'm snooping on you.
Yeah.
What's up?
It's got lots of cool features.
Right. Kid almost dinged my door the other day. Got his license plate and everything. If he had dinged my door, got him.
Comment below if you checked out the app and if you liked it.
Yeah, all you need is an adapter that goes from whatever your phone is. I think this only works on Androids, but it goes from whatever your data phone is.
Oh, no, you can do it with Apples, can't you? In the charge port, the Lightning adapter?
This is an app written for Androids. If there's an Apple version of this, you can put it in the comment section.
Cool. Thanks so much for watching.
Now you know.
And thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to head back to the show. Thank you.